Enjoying all that Toxic Radio has to offer? Well, make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be the first to find out about ticket giveaways, amazing guests, awesome contests, and Toxic Radio events. Just search Toxic Radio Live, all one word, and press that little button. Every time you do, someone here at Toxic Radio will get their wings.
Yay!
Well, not really.
Aww.
But we will get a warm, fuzzy feeling in our tummies. But then again, that just might be the beer. Anyway, like and follow us, and we will see you out there on the interwebs.
Hey guys, dating life going pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies.
Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic.
What's up, everyone? Way to tune into the show. It is that time again to take it deep. With Thee Godfrey, we got a lot to talk about today. As you know, the hot topic of the week has been Deshaun Jackson and his comments and how it has affected the NFL. We'll take a little bit different turn and twist on that subject this week and talk about the NFL in general when it comes to situations like this and what the reality is of how they will respond versus what the reality is of what people want and versus the reality is of what the precedent that has been set. Now, with the comments in general, totally inappropriate. I do believe after assessing the situation, it was a mistake of the head and not the heart, meaning he didn't mean it, and ignorance provided his view. And sometimes life presents us a teachable moment. However, anti-Semitism should never be tolerated on any level. And if it's an athlete, it shouldn't be treated any differently. But in reality, that is what is happening here, right? Because if it was me or you, we would all be fired. And let's be honest, the hypocrisy of the NFL, which I brought up on the show promo, we'll talk about, it's not if the transgression by the player was horrible, short of murder, and there have been guys who have committed vehicular manslaughter that still were able to play in the NFL, Dante Stallworth. And I'm not advocating for anyone here when saying this, but my point is if you have talent, the NFL will find a way for you to get back on the field. They'll make some excuse, find some reason, and they will find a way. If this was Greg Ward on the Eagles, if this was Robert Davis, I believe he was another receiver off the practice squad last year, right? He would have been cut immediately. We wouldn't even be having the conversation, should he be cut, should he not be cut? We all know it, and it's the truth. You can look at many different situations. Guys that were obviously out of their mind. Antonio Brown, perfect example, present example, current example, if you will. What did he do? He got multiple chances. People are still considering giving him chances if he wouldn't be suspended when he got back from the NFL. So this guy is obviously not in his right mind. Josh Gordon's another guy. He gave him chance after chance after chance. Now, I do have to say that in college ball, you're right. And Laura says no different in college ball. I would argue in college ball it gets covered up a little bit more because the apparatuses are kind of controlled locally who report on these teams, where you can't control the national apparatus of the press when it comes to NFL football. But absolutely right. And on down to the high school level. And here's the thing. What we got to remember is when we relate to these people, whether it's for race, they're inspirational, or whether it's for football or whatever it is, they're millionaires. They're not the same as us. It's the truth. They're not going to get the same treatment that you and I get That's reality. I know perception, you would like to be something different, but it's not. Now, I would be hurt if I was a Jewish person, right? His bosses are Jewish. One doesn't practice, one does, I believe. That doesn't even matter. But at the end of the day, this ties into what we have now with cancel culture as well. Should the guy lose his job over this? Now, the immediate response is, well, Riley Cooper didn't. So our view on Riley Cooper is a little skewed, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Riley Cooper was good at the time. He sucks. We all agree Riley Cooper blows. And Chip Kelly made him look better than he was. There is no doubt about it. But at that time when that happened, he was a key part of the team, for better or worse, at that moment. Now, they rewarded him with a contract, and the NFL has put themselves in a bad position. The Eagles have, because the precedent has been set that he's going to go to some sensitivity training, and that will be that. And the NFL usually lets the teams handle these instances on their own within their own house. So I don't think Deshaun should lose his job. I do think it's a teachable moment. I do think he needs to put a better apology out there. I think he needs to make a concerted effort to learn about the Jewish culture, and I do think, and the religion itself, and I do think that that will go a long way. Julian Edelman has already reached out to him because he's of Jewish heritage, and he expressed that today, and that's a teachable moment. That's why I'm not a fan of cancel culture. You know, Deshaun Jackson, will he be okay at the end of the day? Probably. You know, and then people said, well, this guy went to Cal Berkeley. He should know better. I don't know if you guys know this or not yet, but when a guy's really good at football, he's not going to fucking read Tolstoy or Plato. 9 times out of 10, he's going there to ball. Let's be real here. College football is a charade as far as that goes. Oh, he's getting his education. Yeah, he's really cramming the books. My ass. Most athletes in college that are like top tier athletes, I'm talking about guys that are going to be in NFL, they're not cramming. They're not. It's the truth. Now, is there some that do? Absolutely. So, yeah, Lauren says Riley Cooper should have been fired. You're right. However, that's the NFL. It's not just the Eagles. If you have talent, they will find a way for you to back on the field. I could go through multiple players. Leonard Little, that was a long time ago. Dante Stallworth. Ray Rice didn't get to play again because he was at the end of his career. But I guarantee you, if Ray Rice was 22 when that happened, he would have been playing again. But he was at the tail end of his career. The only time that someone got inappropriate blackball would be Colin Kaepernick. And that's how I feel about that. But, that's a whole nother conversation. And now the NFL is showing their hypocrisy again because now they want to be on the right side of history, or the right side of profitability, I should say. And, they're afraid to lose, so to speak. And that's how the coaches are in this league. I heard a guy call WIP, and he said, well, I was told as a coach, don't be afraid to lose. And that meant, don't, at least on that level, if your best player does something that he shouldn't do, he should be treated like everybody else. People have to be humbled in life. And he's getting humbled right now. I don't know if he gets cut. I don't think you can, because your precedent that you've set in the NFL is that you're not going to cut this guy because he still has talent left. That's just the way it goes. Now, some people say they'll never watch football again. I don't blame them. However, I will say this about that. I remember when Michael Vick got signed by the Eagles. I'm a huge dog lover. I have a pet. I am huge for animal rights. Huge football fan. But Michael Vick will be gone long after I'm still watching football. And he wasn't going to stop me from watching football. And I said the same thing to people that were anti-Kaepernick. So you're going to say, what? You're going to not watch football? Then you aren't a real football fan. Because you weren't watching it for that reason in the first place. Whether it was against what you want to do or for. You're not a real football fan. If you love football, that shit's not going to get in the way. You aren't there for the game then. Because guess what? I still watched when Vic was there. I cheered him. You know what? My dog still loves me. It's okay. So we had to talk about it. It was a teachable moment. And I handed her a treat, and she went on with her day. And she forgave me. And then I put my Michael Vick jersey on her. No, I'm just joking. But I will say, if Greg Ward said what Deshaun Jackson said, he would have been cut. And that's how the NFL has always operated. So let's not be surprised. But what he said was inappropriate, wrong, bad timing. It's never going to be good timing, but it's really really bad timing with what's going on. Like, you know, it's charged up, and some people are mad because you don't hear people speaking up on it that have been arguing for racial equality as well. Man, there's radio silence. And there's a lot less Jewish people by numbers in the country than there are black people. However, still doesn't mean you should be radio silent on it. So some people need to be speaking up about that. And I could understand if you were Jewish and you'd be upset. You know, just like if you're black and you're upset about Kaepernick, I would understand. I mean, it's understandable. However, if Gina just got 3 Eagles masks today. Did you know that? I'm not wearing any. You know what? I'm going to wear a mask for the beard. I'm going to call it my beard bra. I think I have it right here. And you guys, you know. By the way, anybody that makes a scene by throwing groceries, by going to a store and torturing a retail worker,